The gentleman from Indiana, Mr. Banks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So as I understand it, the mission management team historically was in charge of reviewing possible mission issues during and after flight. Members from different areas of NASA sat on the board, and the MMT even had a vote in the go, no-go poll before a launch. So the MMT simply functioned as a safety watchdog. My first question is for Mr. Mulholland and Dr. Koenigsmann. What safety programs are currently in place to match the role previously played by MMT at Boeing and SpaceX? Mr. Mulholland?
Yeah, excellent question. So growing up on the Space Shuttle program and seeing the foundation of the mission management team approach, our mission management plan is going to mirror that we implemented on the Space Shuttle program. So we will have a mission management team. NASA will be part of that mission management team. We will have similar reviews heading up to and into launch, both from the flight readiness review and L-2 review before we commit to tanking the vehicle. And they will be fully up. The mission management team will be up and running from that FRR on in, consistent with how we operated the shuttle program.
Okay.
Yeah, slightly different name on our side. We call it flight reliability, but nevertheless, I actually learned from the shuttle, obviously too, and why change something that worked. And so we created a similar approach where we review and test and verify as we go along. There, I do want to also, maybe mention that Falcon 9 is usually we can static fire it on the launch pad, so that's a possibility to do a very last test in the last week before launch, make sure that this vehicle is ready to go. It's similar to running up the engines and make sure that that the vehicle is ready to go. So in addition to taking the traditional approaches, we've added elements there that we think contribute to safety and reliability.
Okay, thank you. As a follow-up to that, to both of you, who would have the final say on whether to launch in a SpaceX or Boeing vehicle? And would NASA be able to call off the launch, or would Boeing or SpaceX have complete authority to decide to launch?
NASA has the final no-go for flying their crews.
Yeah, I believe that's the case on our side too.
NASA has the authority to override the contractor decision and do what's right for the crew.
Okay, thank you. I understand that SpaceX is planning on water landings while Boeing will be landing vehicles in the desert. What procedures does each company plan to put in place to ensure the safe retrieval of astronauts once they've landed? Mr. Mulholland?
It is our responsibility, and there's a whole set of NASA requirements on what has to be fielded out at the retrieval site, which includes medical personnel, the ability to transport the astronauts to a local hospital within an hour. There is a whole set of requirements, and we've got the infrastructure in place or in work to support that.
Okay. Yeah, and we obviously got the same requirements from that perspective, and we have the ability. We have a ship. We have the ability to land a helicopter, and we actually the way we get the capsule out of the water. That is something that we do currently on every Crew Dragon. Last time on Saturday morning or Sunday morning, I think, on the last flight. So it's a routine activity for us, obviously upgraded and with additional personnel to make sure the astronauts are safe.
Okay. Does each company have a plan for emergency landings in areas other than the primary landing site?
Absolutely. So our plan nominally is to land on land. Because of the trajectory that we fly, if we end up in an abort situation, we will land in the water. We'll be certified for that also. In the situation of an abort, the NASA and the government forces will do the retrieval.
Okay. Doctor?
Yeah, we do rely on also on government support in case of a wrong landing in the wrong place or the wrong spot, obviously.
Okay, I have a few seconds left. Mr. Gerstenmaier, as NASA continues to buy seats on Russian spacecraft to travel to the International Space Station, will this practice stop once the commercial crew program is ready, or will NASA continue to purchase seats on Russian aircraft?
We will not purchase seats on Russian Soyuz after this program becomes operational. We still will continue to fly our crew on the Russian Soyuz vehicle, and we will fly a Russian cosmonaut on our U.S. crew vehicles. And the purpose for that is to ensure that we always have space station manned with one Russian cosmonaut and one U.S. astronaut so they can operate the appropriate systems. Station requires operations of the Russian segment and the U.S. segment, so we need to have a mixed crew on board. If a contingency occurs, the crew gets in the vehicle they arrived on and they need to return to the Earth. So to keep that mix on orbit, where we have a Russian cosmonaut and a U.S. crew member, we need to then share crews across our vehicles. So our plan is no longer to purchase seats, but we will still have the ability, we will still fly a U.S. crew member on a Soyuz, and the Russians will likewise fly one of their crew members on our U.S. crew vehicles.
Thank you. My time has expired.
Yes, sir.